Hello guys and welcome back to this week's, and today is Monday, so that means I'm taking the vote over from Instagram and seeing what you would like me to draw this week. This week's choices were between Nightwing, as I was asked by another fellow YouTuber and an actor of sorts. I think he's doing something with Nightwing on YouTube, making some sort of fan film. So definitely keep tuned on Instagram for that one, because I'll let you know what's going on with that. Also, there has been a film called Dark Phoenix come out, and because I'm a big Marvel fan, as you all know, as you can tell, I'm a Spidey fan, but I'm a big Marvel fan, and X-Men were like basically the first kind of MCU before the MCU really was, because they've made countless films now. But the Dark Phoenix has come out once again. They've done the Dark Phoenix saga, but I think they might have done it a little bit better this time. Again, I haven't seen the film, haven't had a chance to yet. I might see it this week, so we might go and see what that one was all about. But like I said, I left you a vote over on Instagram, so you could decide for me, because I couldn't decide, because personally I wanted to do a Dark Phoenix, and like I said, somebody over on Instagram called Nightwing asked me to do a video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what the vote is at so far.
This week on Mixer.com.
This is from Instagram. This is just on the story. If you haven't already checked it out, guys, you can still check this out for yourself. But this is what I did on Mixer. Sorry, dudes, I'll just skip this over. All my edits over there on Instagram. Again, this is all of my story if you've checked it out already. And this was the dude that wanted me to do a video. And I decided, as I just said, I wanted to do a X-Men type video. But I left the decision to you. And you left it at 50-50. So whoever's joined me now, let me know what you want to see. Do you want to see a Dark Phoenix this week? Or would you like to see a Nightwing? Let me know in the comment section right now. And that will be the deciding vote. If you haven't already checked them out, guys, check out the other videos. And there's the video to tell you that what the vote is. So what would you like to see? As I had with my new pens from last week, I did a little bit of doodling on this picture here. And, well, we've got Nightwing, sort of, Batman. Let me know in the comment section. As hi there, I really like your drawings. Thank you very much for saying that in the comment section. Which would you like to see this week? Okay, seems like everybody's left. Right. Okay, so I'll decide myself. I'll have to do a eeny, meeny, miny, mo, it looks like. I was hoping you guys would tell me, because you were really handy over on Instagram. So unless you've gone over there now and voted, I'll give it another quick look at what you guys have voted for.
This week on Mixer.com.
That was Mixer.
Without batteries.
We went over to Mixer and played a bit of Just Cause, if you're a fan of that. I like that video. Sorry, that was a complete fluke that happened. I'm so glad I caught that on camera. That is available to watch if you want to go see that. But that was Nightwing, and he decided. And again, put that one out for you. And it's still at 50-50. So I will have to do a meeny, miny, mo, because I thought by now you guys would have decided for me. So I am going to say to you, my name's Blut084, BLUT084. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a bat by his toe. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. let the bat go. That one's gone. So we're doing a Dark Phoenix. So let's get my art pad out. This, again, that was the doodle, a sketchy pad that I got going. And I'll be using some sort of thing, a reference out of this book. There is hundreds of pictures in this book, thinking about it, and I might just sort of test them out. I don't want to use too much of the colors, but I've been testing them, all the these pens here. I'm actually get them out quick. We're doing sketching today, but I will get around to that in a second. But these are the pens I used last time. Check them out. They do that. They are awesome things. I haven't done any more in there, but like I said, we're going to be, looks like, because I'm deciding, I already wanted to do a Dark Phoenix, and you guys can't decide for me. I will decide for myself. So we're going to do a Dark Phoenix. So let's get my, that's last week, guys, if you didn't check it out. This is in my art book. Let's get rid of that one so I can actually see what I'm doing here. I'm going to spin the camera a second, guys. There we go. So there was a wire. So I'm going to turn that picture sort of thing into that. I will be giving her wings, but not wings as such. As you all know, Dark Phoenix has like a phoenix shape. So I'll be doing that that sort of figure, but with the phoenix shape like so above her or around her as an aura of flames. If you didn't check this one out digitally, guys, I did this last week, and I digitized the whole thing as well. So don't forget to go check that one out, because there was a lot more detail added to this than added to the glowing effect. And that's why that gave me an idea to do Dark Phoenix, because it's a flames. And I haven't really done flames before, but I have done like a glowing effect. So what I want to try and replicate is what I did last night. With that there on the drawing. Again, each stage I will, that's the first boat we put out, guys. Again, Mermaid, we're going to check that one out. Yeah, so what am I saying here? I'm going to be doing that picture, but on that page. So I'm going to show you each stage from sketch to inking, which will be on Tuesday, tomorrow. So don't forget to hit subscribe and tune in for that one. And all the way to color and then digitize. I'm trying to find my pen. So there we go. Got a mechanical pencil, guys. I always use a mechanical pencil. It is one of my personal favorites to use. I do have ordinary professional sketch pencils, which I generally only really use for shading, to be honest. They're really good for shading. This is really good for getting that defined line of what you want to see and what's meant to be there. Like, so yeah, let's put those away for now. You can see a couple of ink splotch because the ink from last time came through, but not the pen ink. And the eraser there. The ink from the ink pen. I think I don't need a pencil sharpener. But we'll be using this ink pen tomorrow. I might even get around to doing it today. Probably not, because of the time and the amount that I'm waffling. So let's get some Comic Storian in the background. If you've ever heard of Comic Storian, they read you the comics to you and give you a theatrical return. No, I'll let them decide. Just let them explain it. Let's go.
The X-Men Dark Phoenix movie has come out, but aren't you curious what happened in the actual comic book?
Watch what I do, guys, as I will be doing the framework first. As I do the framework, I'll be listening to the Dark Phoenix.
Now, this is an old storyline from the 80s, so we're kind of jumping ahead to just the actual Dark Phoenix portion of it. So, at this point, we've already had Phoenix, we've already had a bunch of things happening, we've already had the Dark Phoenix come back, but we are about to jump into that. And if you're wondering where you are, well, you have found the Comic Storian channel. We bring you audio dramas, catching you up on the lore to your favorite comic books, movies, and video games. And today, we're covering Dark Phoenix. Let's go ahead and get into that. Before we can begin the Dark Phoenix, we need to let you know how we got here. So here's a quick recap catching you up. It was several months ago that Jean Grey, a young mutant and member of the X-Men, was exposed to deadly solar radiation while in space. However, instead of truly killing her, it allowed her to reach the peak of her powers, resurrecting her once more on Earth. She dubbed herself the Phoenix and joined the X-Men. Knowing that such power can be dangerous, however, mental blockers were put into place so that she may not danger those around her. Yet all was not well. Jean and the rest of the team suddenly found themselves at odds with the secretive Hellfire Club. Over several months, the mutant known as Mastermind, working with the Hellfire Club, began to manipulate Jean into believing that she was one of her ancestors from the 1700s, a woman that was a part of the Hellfire Club. Unknown to Jean, though, with every flash that she has into the supposed past, another one of the mental blockers that was put into place to hold back her power falls away. The team first came into contact with the club's agents when they were sent by their mentor, Professor Xavier, to meet a young mutant named Kitty Pryde. When half the team was captured, Kitty manages to gain some control over her new powers and escape, calling in the rest of the team from their meeting with Dazzler. After Jean manages to defeat the Hellfire Club's psychic, the White Queen, the team escapes and Kitty is returned to her family safely. Realizing that they have a new enemy, the team then works with Maureen Worthington, also known as Angel, to sneak inside of the New York-based Hellfire Club. Unfortunately, Sebastian Shaw was ready for them, and the team is quickly incapacitated, with Jean now fully believing that she is a member of the club known as the Black Queen. Believing that the woman that he loves is still inside of her, Scott Summers tried to reason with Jean. But it was only by using the psychic link that they share that he was able to go inside of her mind and fight the psychic version of Mastermind that has been manipulating her. With the depth of this mental projection, Jean is freed from the control of the Hellfire Club and the team begins their escape. However, with the last shred of Mastermind gone, so are the final blockers that kept Jean from accessing her true power. Waiting for Mastermind in the shadows, Jean can feel the change coming over her. The power of the Phoenix is truly great, and it consumes her. Seeing the man that tormented her for months, she unleashes that power onto him, cursing him for the forces that he has set into motion. Instead of killing him, she uses the power of the Phoenix to expand his mind, to show him things that no living being has ever known. His mind is in touch with all of reality at once, and unable to cope, he snaps. Jean can feel the Phoenix burning within her soul, spreading its wings, soaring towards a destiny that cannot be denied. Fleeing the building, the X-Men make their way to Central Park, where Cyclops calls to a skycraft to come and pick them up. The team quickly boards and they take off. Jean is still reeling from the whole ordeal, though, from the power and the feelings that are overwhelming her body. Wolverine leans out, staring at the police that have arrived at the Hellfire Club, no doubt looking for them. We ought to be flattered. Looks like they've rounded up an army for us. Against an army, Wolverine, you would have at least stood a chance for survival. Against me, you have none. The voice calls out from behind them, and that voice, it's Jean Grey, yet it's not. The team turns, shock filling their faces as the craft begins to fill with fire. Hail me, X-Men! No longer am I the woman that you knew. I am fire. I am life incarnate. I am the Dark Phoenix. With these words, the ship explodes into a fireball, almost disintegrating around them. The team begins to fall through the sky, plummeting to the earth below, with Colossus slamming into the ground hard, knowing that a fall from this height won't hurt him. Nightcrawler bants as the stench of brimstone fills the air, and he rolls onto the ground below, yet his speed still too fast, and he hurls himself into the bushes. Storm calls upon the winds and lightning to confuse the Dark Phoenix as she swoops in, catching Wolverine and Cyclops. Reaching the ground, though, they discover that their respite is a brief one. Yours was an admirable ploy, Storm. But escaping me won't be that easy. Phoenix cries, pushing through the rain, the wind, and the lightning. The team stands ready as the Dark Phoenix attacks. Whatever is left of Jean Grey is enjoying this use of her powers. Colossus turns, ripping a tree out of the ground to use as a weapon, yet Phoenix merely waves her hand, and he transforms back into his human self, without the strength to lift the tree. Wolverine moves in to help, yet another wave, and the tree is solid gold, falling on the pair and pinning them to the ground. Storm once again moves in, trying to reason with her friend, yet there is very little of Jean left, and in a matter of seconds, the rest of the X-Men
Hey there, buddy. You want me to draw a race car?
The battle is over. She stands over her.
I can have a go doing a race car.
She is done with the
Or maybe I'll put that into the
My
next vote,
destiny is
where
in the
between me,
stars.
Sheen,
She
or
cries as the Phoenix forces curl around her,
something else.
forming a great fiery bird that burns bright enough for the entirety of New York to see. It is over in the Baxter building that Reed Richards picks up the power signature on his equipment. Elsewhere, Spider-Man turns to see the vast power looming over Central Park. In deep space, the Silver Surfer can sense a kindred spirit of cosmic powers. and he turns his board towards Earth. Yet the Dark Phoenix cares not for these things and lifts upwards into space, bidding her home planet goodbye. Ecstasy fills her face as the power surrounds her, and she flies into the cosmos. She has no limits, and with incredible speed, she flies towards the sun, looping around it, skimming its surface. This boosts her speed even further, and in a matter of seconds, she is passing the planet of Jupiter. And seconds after that, she is passing through the whole solar system, her powers flaring again, creating a stargate for her. Her powers pass her through time and space, and she is suddenly hurled from the Milky Way, appearing once more in a galaxy far away. The Dark Phoenix suddenly realizes that this journey has taken more from her than she thought, and she goes ravenous in her hunger. The center of this strange solar system lays before her, and without hesitation, she flies directly into it. This star will do nicely, she thinks to herself. Without the thought of the consequences, the Dark Phoenix dives into the heart of the star. Should it be left alone, the star would most likely live for another 6 billion years. Yet now, with the Dark Phoenix in need, it will only last a few more minutes. And in the system of 11 planets that is currently orbiting this star, the fourth one is inhabited by ancient, peace-loving people. On the day side, the citizens of this world look up at the flaring of light that fills the sky. It's beautiful in its own way, yet it fills these people with the fear of the unknown. It matters not, though, that they are dead within seconds. The heat flare boils the planet with a shockwave obliterating all that stands in its way. Most of those on the night side are lucky, though, in that they pass in their sleep, unaware of the total destruction of their world. At the center of the star, the Dark Phoenix thrills the power that she feels, as it fills her with pure ecstasy. And on the fringes of the solar system, the Shi'ar battlecruiser floats. "Give me tactical," the captain orders as their sensors pick up the flare of the dying star. None of the bridge officers can explain what happened. None of their readings make any sense. The star was perfectly healthy during this morning's scan. It should not have occurred, the science officer concludes. Suddenly, the bridge crew is shocked by what appears on their screens. From the fiery destruction, a single form can be seen flying away. It appears to be humanoid. What kind of creature is it? The captain questions before turning to his crew, determination on his face. "Sound the battle stations. We will engage," he orders. The battlecruiser opens fire, yet the Dark Phoenix is easily able to dodge. She turns, anger filling her features in the vast coldness of space. And with a flare of power, she lashes through the battlecruiser, disabling it in mere seconds. Realizing that the doom is upon them, the captain orders a message to be sent to the Shi'ar homeworld. On the ancient world, seat of the Shi'ar Empire, the Queen Lilandra is awakened. The situation is quickly explained to her as she dashes to the command center. The vision screens show the bridge of the battle cruiser and the fiery bird that lashed out against it. "Lilandra, can you see it?" the captain cries, and the bridge crew take each other's hands as their doom finds them, and the screens they go black. "Technician, regain contact!" the Queen orders, yet he cannot, for there is nothing in there.
Reach me with that hand. Reach me with that hand.
The X-Men are trying to get over their defeat at the hands of their former friend. And no one is taking this as hard as Cyclops. Suddenly, Cyclops bolts upright at a table, startling the rest of the team. "Scott, what's wrong?" Nightcrawler questions, with fear filling Scott's voice. "It's Phoenix. I could sense her in my mind. She's returning to Earth and she's hungry." Meanwhile, in deep space, Lilandra is calling out to the others to gather various ministers in the Shi'ar Empire. The meeting views the events of the Phoenix destroying the entire solar system and wiping out a Shi'ar battlecruiser with very little effort. Lilandra knows that the Phoenix resides within Jean Grey, a benevolent young girl from Earth, who had previously saved the universe from Lilandra's own brother. Yet, she sees now that the Phoenix has overtaken Jean, and that now the entire galaxy is in danger. The universe is to survive. The Phoenix must be destroyed. Back on Earth, the X-Men are working endlessly. Hank McCoy, former X-Men and now a member of the Avengers, has pledged his aid. He continues to work on a device that should disrupt her powers and allow them a fighting chance against the Dark Phoenix. Meanwhile, knowing that they are the smart ones, Wolverine, Colossus, and Nightcrawler are honing their skills in the danger room, hoping that the physical exertion will take their minds off their defeat at the hands of Jean earlier and what they may have to do to stop her. A short time ago, Jean Grey was sailing through the cosmos as the Dark Phoenix, with creation itself trembling at her passing. And now, she lands in the yard of her childhood home, a house on Annandale Road, where Jean Grey grew up. She stands in the front yard, the night dark and quiet around her. And finally, she moves forward, pushing into the house. It's the inside that she remembers. The look of the place, the smell. Yet now they seem like someone else's memories. someone else's experiences. Jean Grey was a gentle and loving person who would sacrifice herself to save others. The Dark Phoenix is the destroyer of worlds. Suddenly, the lights click on and Jean turns to see her father. Surprise and happiness fill this man's face as he steps forward, embracing his daughter. Her mother and sister then appear, questioning why she is here and how she has been. Yet the Dark Phoenix can read their thoughts and sense the true feelings in their hearts. They fear her. They fear what she is and what she has become. Anger begins to flare within her. What is wrong with what she has become? She is the Dark Phoenix, the power incarnate. She holds the very fate of the universe in her hands. She turns, interrupting their questions as her power flares. You fear me, all of you, and with good reason, she cries, demonstrating her power to alter molecules. Her father steps forward, glaring at her. Who are you? What are you? You are no daughter of mine. I cast you out, he cries. Somewhere deep inside of the Dark Phoenix, Jean Grey is begging for her father to stop. But the powerful being suddenly turns and sees a strange fog enveloping the house through the windows. She flies outside knowing that this must be Storm's doing, yet she can sense her former teammates. Suddenly the smell of brimstone fills the air with Nightcrawler on top of her. Surprise! I'm truly sorry that things must turn out this way. He apologizes as he slips the device that Hank has created to disrupt her powers around Jean's head. Pain rips through her as the device disrupts her mental powers, her body flexing, and Nightcrawler is thrown aside. She careens through the air, but is quickly caught by Colossus. Do not fight us, Phoenix! The more you struggle, the more you will be in pain. He tries to reason with her, yet the Phoenix has more than just Jean's mental powers, and with a surprising show of strength, she whips the metal man through a boulder. Storm moves in, once again trying to hold Phoenix at bay with her power, yet energy crackles, throwing the Storm Witch aside. Beast manages to grab her, trying to hold her steady as Wolverine moves in. He knows what he has to do. Tackling her to the ground, he pins her with his claws popped, and he rears back. Forgive me, darling. He growls as the Phoenix's features soften, and Jean is looking back at him again. Do it, Wolverine. Strike while the human part of me is in control. Finish me. She struggles, tears filling her eyes. But the sight of Jean once more causes Logan to hesitate, and in that brief moment, the Phoenix once again rises, her powers flaring. Hank's device overloads, and the Dark Phoenix smiles wickedly as she rips it off her head. What a pity, Hank! I've overloaded your device. This was an admirable ploy, X-Men, but one that failed. She raises her hands, and the team is locked in place, and they begin to rise as the energy surrounds them. Stop it, Jean! Cyclops says from behind her. She turns, surprised. Yet he isn't there to kill her. He knows that she won't kill them. She loves them. The Dark Phoenix knows nothing of love. She growls, yet Scott knows that Jean's very existence springs from love. Briefly, the Phoenix hesitates. In that moment, Professor X strikes. She falls briefly, but quickly strikes back, her blast knocking them both back. The Dark Phoenix stands before Charles now, and he knows what he must do. The Phoenix flares again as the two are locked in a psychic battle. The struggle is epic as the two wage a war on a different plane of existence. The powers of the Phoenix flare brighter, lighting the countryside as if a small sun has appeared. Yet the end comes quickly and the light dims. And in the night, Jean Grey lays in the ground. Quickly, Scott is there, lifting his love. Hi, he smiles in his arms. Quickly, the two embrace as their thoughts of love fill each other's minds. The rest of the team arrives with Angel having brought Professor X to the fight. Her family comes out as well, glad to see their daughter is all right. Yet suddenly, there's a bright flash and the entire X-Men team is gone. Stunned, Jean's family stands there staring at the spot where the mutants had just stood, not knowing if they'll ever see their daughter again. The team look around, shock filling their faces. Moments ago, they were standing on the dark lawn in upstate New York, and now they stand in a large chamber surrounded by aliens. Behind them, the Gladiator, a member of the Shi'ar Imperial Guard, steps forward. X-Men, heed my words. You stand in the presence of Empress Lilandra. Your fates are in her hands. His words echo through the chamber as the Empress steps out. Cyclops pulls Jean close, demanding to know what this is about. The X-Men were your friends. Why have you kidnapped us? He questions. And Lilandra nods, for she knows that they are her friends. To ensure your safety and the safety of the universe, the Phoenix must be destroyed. She commands, shock filling the X-Men as Gladiator explains what the Dark Phoenix did while she was loose in the galaxy. The fate of that lost solar system and the Shi'ar battlecruiser that tried to defend it. Guards begin to close in, yet everyone pauses as Charles Xavier raises his hand. For Jean Grey's life, I challenge you to a duel of honor, he cries, though she glares inwardly. Lilandra is impressed with Charles's knowledge of their culture. It is later, after discussing the issue with her allies, that the Empress returns. I accept your challenge. and I pray that you will not live to regret what you have done this day. She informs him and offers them the day to rest, regain their strength, and prepare for the duel. That night, each X-Men takes his own personal time, dwelling on their own thoughts as to what it means to be an X-Man and to fight with their friends. Nightcrawler and Angel exercise together while Logan takes the night to meditate, knowing that he hesitated once and will do so again. Beast takes a bath and relaxes. Colossus sleeps the night away. Storm uses the night to think back on her past before the X-Men. Scott and Jean spend it together. At the dawn, the X-Men stand ready to fight what lays ahead. Quickly, they are teleported to the blue side of the moon. As the team vanishes, Lilandra watches the spot where they stood. Suppose they win, the minister questions. Yet she stares determined. They will not win. You have my word on that. Down on the moon, the team quickly moves, and Scott orders everyone to start with hit and run tactics, for they don't have a lot of time. The team separates, trying to recon the area, and quickly, though, they are set upon by the Imperial Guard. Angel leaps into the sky, starting an aerial battle with the being known as Oracle. Meanwhile, the second team is attacked as well, and Colossus leaps to fight Warstar, and the X-Men are now fully engaged with the Imperial Guard. Storm tries to deal with several members, but is the first to fall at the hands of Hussar and her Necro Whip. The battle rages on, but the team is barely holding its own. Wolverine stalks through the battlefield as he stumbles across Storm, his teammates coming from behind him, yet Logan quickly reacts, throwing the woman against the wall. Suddenly she transforms, becoming a shape-shifting Skrull. Claws pop and Logan attacks, but is thrown away by a Kree energy blast. Sneaking through the shadows, Nightcrawler tries to deal with Manta, yet she deals with him in one blast and he falls from the fight. Beast is the next to fall as Colossus leaps to help his friend. He is attacked by Gladiator. The two powerhouses begin to trade blows, and with every impact, the buildings begin to shatter and fall around them. The structures collapse, and it is from the rubble that Gladiator emerges, pulling the fallen Russian. Once only Cyclops and Jean remain, the two begin to run, firing to keep the guard off their tail. Quickly, they hide in an alcove, with Jean covering the entrance to give them a moment of respite. We got some breathing room, yet sooner or later, we have to come out, she informs him. Scott knows, and he turns to his love. So much I want to say, so much I feel. I don't have the words. He stumbles trying to get it out. Yet Jean knows before she can read his thoughts. So, the two take each other's hands and they step once more into the battle. The guards close in and the fight rages on, yet from their vantage point, the Shi'ar suddenly sense a flare of energy. It is on that moon that the Dark Phoenix rises again, the fight unlocking that energy once again hidden within Jean. Cyclops stares, stunned, hearing the commands of Xavier in his mind to attack her while she is still weak. Optic beams fire, shattering the wall behind her, and the rest of the X-Men struggle awake as Xavier commands them. Storm uses her powers to whip around Jean, distracting her, and Wolverine uses the low gravity of the moon to hurl Colossus, allowing the Russian to crack her across the jaw. And in that brief moment of clarity, Jean once again begs her teammates to kill her, yet they can't. So she retreats, heading into the Dark Chamber. Cyclops following, trying to reason with her, yet she turns, using her powers to hold him in place. I'm scared, Scott. I can feel the Dark Phoenix within me taking over, she explains. She leans forward, taking his face in her hands. She killed an entire world. It's better this way. Quick, clean, fine.
And then goes Cyclops.
He turns to the strange machine that
You haven't seen the film.
and activates. Scott screams as he realizes what his love is about to do. That machine fires and the light fills the chamber, blinding him. And he falls as the Phoenix's powers fade. And then where Jean once stood, well, it's nothing but a blackened, charred patch of dirt. She planned this. She must have read the minds of the Imperial Guard and known this device was here. Cyclops crumbles to the ground of the chamber, tears falling from his eyes as a patch of earth that was his love smokes. It's always interesting to see the original stories and how they play into how the movie was done. So let me know in the comments down below, do you feel that the original 3-issue arc of Dark Phoenix is better than the movie? Or do you think the movie is better than the original 3-issue arc? Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If there was spoilers, well, I haven't seen the movie yet, so I don't know how close they got to the book. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time right here at Comic Storian. And if you want more stuff like this, subscribe to the channel and find us over on Twitter at Comic Storian or Instagram at Comic Storian.
Definitely do that, guys. So I'm going to give you a comparison side by
It's a complete story series, right?
See
Take
what's
trade
gonna do.
paperbacks and single issues, and I break
see which one is going to actually
in
play before I carry on.
bites to help you understand. Then I read them dramatically back to you, creating a motion
Might be another
comic of
Phoenix.
sorts, adding in some music
Or an
and
X-Men
pretend
type
I can
thing.
voice act the characters. It's a lot of fun for me, and many of you guys enjoy this. Now, with the movie Into the Spider-Verse currently out, a lot of you may be wondering about Miles Morales. Miles,
Not really. Not at the minute. Well, maybe next time. I've done a video of that already, so definitely check the Spider-Man video out for that. But we're doing Phoenix today. And there's the comparison. Again, I'm going straight from straight, but I'm going to change that image that you can see up there, put a few more details, change the clothing a little bit, and just sort of, well, change it, but not too much. I'm using her as the base framework, and you've just seen me go from basic sketch, skeleton type. So you do the circle for the head, then you put in these the lines here for where the shoulders are going to be. Again, it changes on whether the positioning of where we put the circles for the shoulders, purely because of which stance they're in. And she's in a more of a stretched out power stance, and so that's why I chose the two. Normally, I would have the circle here and the two soft dots here, and a line, and so on, and same for the bottom there. And the arms would be more doing whatever they were doing. And this one, again, it's the pose that I'm really wanted to try, as I don't normally do a dynamic pose such as this, but hopefully I've done okay. I still need to do the face a little bit, but I'm generally not very good with faces anyway. I wanted to get the body down so you guys can see how to create your own for yourself. And again, same with the legs. When you get to the hips, you do a triangle basically for where the legs and the hips are sort of shaped. So you put the hips in, and then you add the legs to where you want to put them in, the same as you would the arms. Put the line, circle, line, ankle, foot, sort of thing. So if you do that every single time you do a drawing, guys, no matter how bad your drawing you feel like you're doing, you've started in a way that a professional starts. Again, I'm not a professional, but I sketch every single day here on Mondays, and then tomorrow this will be inked, and then Wednesday we'll color this in with the Copic markers and turn it into something looking a bit more like that. And then after that, I'll get even more experimental and go over to Instagram, where this is where it came from. I'll go over to Critter and start recording the digital version. Again, if you haven't checked out last week's digital version, guys, go and check that one out in the video just before this one. And that is the last and part of that video. But if you want to check anything out, definitely worth checking out. Just for listening to the stories that I'm just trying to find now. There were 7 people who can defeat the Phoenix. Okay. I'm going to get on, carry on a little bit more. Let's skip this out, right?
Today's video is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Do
No,
you
it's
find
not.
yourself
That's
frequently
theirs.
using
That's
public
theirs.
Wi-Fi?
That's theirs.
Well, doing so can potentially put your personal
That is
information
their
in danger. But luckily, you can prevent this by using
Go
ExpressVPN.
and check it
Rated
out.
#1 VPN
The
service by
portal
TechRadar.
opens there. Not here.
Is one of the fastest VPNs out there and has server locations in 94 countries, giving plenty of options to choose from. With one click, you can use the internet without restrictions and securely stream or download content from anywhere at any time. I often use ExpressVPN when I'm traveling and I find myself needing to handle business or make purchases, and I want to keep my personal information safe while doing so. ExpressVPN costs less than $7 a month, and it even comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. And it's available on every device. If you take back your internet privacy today, you can find out how you can get 3 months free by clicking the link in the description. ExpressVPN.com/top10. That's ExpressVPN.com/top10. TOP10. And take back your privacy today with ExpressVPN. Soon, the last official Fox X-Men movie will grace our screens, and once again, we will witness the Phoenix Saga unfold on the big screen. While we wait to see if this version is any better than the last one, let's not talk about Last Stand, we here at Comicstorian would like to take a moment and join in the time-honored nerd tradition of Who Can Beat Who? Okay, so quick history lesson for those who are not in the know. The Phoenix Force first appeared in Uncanny X-Men 101 and was created by Chris Claremont. It's a primal cosmic entity born as a manifestation of life and passion. It has become one of the strongest beings in the Marvel Universe. Usually, the Phoenix takes on a physical host, the most famous being Jean Grey. However, it also has used the likes of Cyclops and Professor Xavier. So the Marvel Universe is full of nearly immortal cosmic beings. So is there anyone who could beat the Phoenix in a straight fight? Well, I'm glad you asked, person who can't talk to me because this is a YouTube video. Here are our picks for who could win in this cosmic beatdown. Number 1, Odin, king of the Asgardians and Thor's daddy. Odin, at his most powerful, would be a match for the Primal Force. In the current run of comics, he has been strongly depowered. Were he armed with the full strength of the Odin Force and the might of the Odin Sword, the fight would truly be epic. It also seems that Odin and the Phoenix once had a thing together, even defending the Earth together in an ancient form of the Avengers. And there's nothing quite as brutal as lovers' quarrel. Number 2 is Thanos. Okay, so we should preface this one by stating that he has to be armed with the Infinity Gauntlet and all of the stones. Normal Thanos? No. He would die a fiery death that would be talked about for ages. However, were he armed with a gauntlet, Thanos could merely snap the Phoenix out of existence. He can also alter reality so that she is as weak as a mouse. If the various Infinity Wars have shown us anything, when armed with all of the stones, characters can do anything that the writers need them to do. Actually, I'm surprised that no one has ever done that in comics, had Thanos fight the Phoenix Force. Number 3 is Vulcan. This one's a personal pick of mine. Emperor Vulcan, once ruler of the Shi'ar, is an Omega-level mutant. He has the ability to manipulate all forms of energy, including magic, and has a control over the elements. What is the Phoenix Force really? Primal energy. Work into the mix that he is actually the brother of Scott Summers, one of the Phoenix's former hosts, and this should be a pretty epic fight. Number 4 is the Beyonder. Originally appearing in Secret Wars number 1 all the way back in 1984, the Beyonder has shown that he has the ability to rewrite the very fabric of reality and the multiverse as a whole. He is considered an immortal cosmic being with near omnipotence. With such cosmic powers, he would be more than a match for the Phoenix. Number 5 is the Living Tribunal. Created by Stan Lee, the Living Tribunal is another cosmic being that has the power to erase and recreate reality as we know it. I imagine one little cosmic firebird really wouldn't be much of a problem for it. Number 6 is Franklin Richards, the son of Reed and Sue Richards. Franklin is another Omega-level mutant that possibly is subconsciously controlling the very events of the Marvel Universe for his own amusement. His powers include the ability to alter reality and control the fundamental forces of the universe, which basically means that in a fight with the Phoenix, Franklin's powers would be more than a match for the primal energy. After the events of the Secret Wars, Franklin is actually the one who created the new multiverses. And number 7 is the one above all. While the Marvel Universe is full of cosmic beings and supposed deities, there is one who is all-powerful. First appearing in Fantastic Four number 511, the one above all is considered the god of the Marvel multiverse. The Living Tribunal has stated that even with all of their limitless power, they serve another. This being is the one above all. Some consider it the physical manifestation of the Marvel creators and editors. In reality, this would mean that the one above all actually created the very Phoenix Force itself. In the face of such awesome power, the Phoenix would have no chance. I hope you guys enjoyed this little list, and maybe you can ask us down below who is more powerful than insert villain or superhero here, and we can just make another list based on characters that could defeat this supposedly almighty individual. So let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe right here to Comicstorian and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Comicstorian. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.
Bye! All right, I'm getting the face done. Let's get it done. Hair, I hate hair. This music I hate this again.
Welcome to Know Your Universe, our series where we go on explaining things that you might be lacking knowledge in. This series is mostly covered on our CTV channel, a link to which you can find in the description down below, but once in a while we still make something for it over here. So today, what are Omega-level mutants? We don't fully know or understand Omega-level mutants. Omega and Alpha-level mutants are terms loosely thrown around by writers to categorize various mutants. This means that it sits basically just as a term used for insanely powerful mutants. Mutants who are, in theory, the most powerful class of mutants. But the problem is that this term gets thrown around so loosely that at times it could be used to classify every mutant in existence. It gets very loosey-goosey after that, so it's pretty much safe to assume that Omega-level mutants are the most powerful most of the time. Regardless of what it actually classifies, there are a select number of mutants that are considered Omega-level by everyone across the board. Now, this list does move around depending on where you look at it, so I'm going to go over the mutants that I found on all of the corresponding lists. If they weren't on all of the lists, I didn't put them into this list. Seems like the safest bet. So if your favorite Omega level mutant isn't on this list, well, I guess he didn't make somebody's list out there. Keep in mind, this will only be brief information on each of them, as we have full videos, or will have full videos, on all of their origins and histories. So someone that is on everyone's Omega level list is Jean Grey. She is a super powerful telepathic, telekinetic mutant and a favorite of the Phoenix Force, which is one of the cosmic entities. Jean has the ability to manipulate the minds of others, which includes forcing them to do things, changing their memories, or even straight up mind-wiping people. When she's possessed by the Phoenix, these powers grow to an insane level. Her telekinetic abilities give her the power to levitate, move matter, and manipulate it. Even stimulate molecules to create heat and even make concussive blasts strong enough to throw anybody around. Following her, we have Hope Summers. She is the first mutant born after M-Day, the day in which all of the mutants were wiped from existence. She has the power of empathic power mimicry. Basically, she can physically manipulate and mimic the powers of other mutants. She has also shown a lot of unspecified powers, such as being immune to things such as Rogue's power, or being able to wipe out all of Rogue's stored powers, or even be able to wipe out various viruses. Since she's able to mimic anyone's power, she has infinite power, and her only weakness is that she needs to be near the mutants to take their powers. She has shown everything from telepathic abilities, telekinesis, energy blasts, and the ability to jumpstart newly developed mutant powers. Legion is next on her list. He is the son of Charles Xavier and has the Omega level power to spontaneously create mutations of varying ability. He can basically do anything, and he makes a new personality to be the host of each one of these new powers that he creates, forcing him to be a very unstable individual, as each of these personalities are trying to fight for control of his body. Elixir is a mutant capable of controlling the biological structure of his own mind and other people's bodies. He can, in theory, rewrite someone's genetic structure and produce biomolecule energy at will to heal any wound he takes or anyone else takes. This literally allows him to change his body in any way that he wants, from healing to activating mutant powers to repairing your mental functions. It is theorized that he could even rewrite a person's genome however he sees fit. Kid Omega is an Omega-level telepath that has evolved into a non-corporeal life form existing as a disembodied consciousness. This guy can force everyone around him to do whatever he wants and basically influences everyone. He was a weaker individual at first, but he quickly learned his powers, and when he was given a power-enhancing drug called Kick, Emma Frost stated that his brain contained several thousand brilliant thoughts a second. During Ensong, he was shown to have telekinetic abilities, the ability to fly and tear apart buildings as he flew through them. He could also pull a body out of the ground and resurrect them for a bit. Iceman, aka Bobby Drake. This guy is a fan favorite, and everyone loves to say, Iceman is an Omega-level mutant. Well, this is kind of true. He himself hasn't shown this power. What everyone is referring to is the time that Emma Frost possessed Iceman to discover the fate of her Hellions. She was able to control all forms of moisture, freeze fluids inside people's bodies, and travel as a liquid, solid, or gas. No one was able to stop Emma Frost and Iceman's body, and basically since Emma Frost discovered that since Iceman can control and manipulate moisture to make his powers work, he is an Omega-level mutant because he can control anything with liquid and moisture. He even discovered recently that he can make ice structures that act independently of him, though one of them did join the evil Brotherhood of Mutants in the future. Psylocke is an Omega-level telepath that only saw the full extent of her powers when they were unlocked by Jean Grey in the Age of Apocalypse storyline. As with most telepaths, she can project thoughts and images over great distances, control minds, tap into other people's powers, cut them off, affect memories, and use side bolts as a form of energy projection. Franklin Richards is an odd one because he is considered a mutant because he was born with his powers. And much like Legion, he can do whatever he wants. For Franklin, he doesn't have every mutant power, he has the power to warp reality as he sees fit. And I do mean he can change anything. He has even created entire realities for the superheroes he adores and have had nothing bad happen to them. There's even a running fan theory that maybe we'll do a video on one day that the Marvel Universe's timeline is all screwy because of Franklin Richards. It's better explained in another video, but basically time moved normal in the Marvel Universe until his birth. 1 year in the real world was 1 year in comic time. But when he was born, time seemed to shift and move. The theory is that Franklin wants the world to stay where he wants it, like keeping Spider-Man 20 for 20 years, because Franklin liked a young Spider-Man. Lastly, I'm going to count Matthew Malloy on my own list. This was a recent character in the Uncanny X-Men books, and I told Rob at Comics Explained about it, and he went ahead and made a whole video about it. I'll link that down below. But basically, he was a mutant that could alter and change reality as he saw fit. That Professor X deemed so powerful that he placed a mental block on him to prevent his powers from manifesting. Well, the block wore off and his powers manifested. And while Cyclops and Magneto tried to convince Matthew to come with them and learn about his powers, he was deemed too uncontrollable to be of any use to any side of the war. He ended up wiping out various important individuals from existence, and it took the mutant Tempest going back in time to prevent his parents from ever meeting
And there's a sketch, guys.
to save everyone. It's a great
45
self-contained
minutes
story that I do want to
that
cover.
out, but
Anyway, that is all of the Omega level mutants that are on most lists, plus the one that I added. Like I said at the start, the term is very loosely used to cover all super powerful mutants, so it can pretty much cover anyone you want. Let me know in the comments down below who you think should be an Omega level mutant. Are you in the crowd that thinks Storm should be an Omega level mutant? Should Wolverine? I mean, the guy never dies. Let me know in the comments down below who you think should be on this list, and I'll see you guys next time right here.
okay, let's pause that. Okay, let's pause. We are done, guys. I've done as much as I think that. Shut up, Frank. I've done as much as I think needs to be done for this picture. As you can see, I've changed it. I've not changed the pose. I've changed the clothes a little bit. I still think the clothes need a little bit more changing here and there. Maybe like put in a few designs of, say, the Phoenix. But I do like the midriff that she's wearing, so I'm going to keep that as is. Add in a few more details here and there to, I don't know, change things up a bit. Do the X as well for the X-Men. She's not quite the X-Men anymore when she's in Phoenix form, but as you heard there, she kind of does and she kind of doesn't. She does what she likes because she's the Phoenix Force and she has no, well, she has a few betters. But in the general version, she does not. Like I said, we're going to be inking this tomorrow, guys. Thank you very much to those guys that did join me at the beginning. Hopefully you've made it all the way to the end and watched back. If you have, thank you very much for doing so. Don't forget to leave a like if you do. My name again is Blut084, BLUT084, Art and Games. Tune in later on for some more games, as we'll be continuing on with The Last Guardian and trying to get that one done, or as much as possible done tonight. So join me tonight, help me out, or just enjoy the streams. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to click the links that will appear for some more artwork and digitization. I'll be back tomorrow to ink this and show you how to use the ink pens you've got available. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.